The Senate expected to confirm Robert Wilkie as Veterans Affairs Secretary today.
The former Air Force Reserve officer set to replace David Shulkin, who was fired by President Trump earlier this year. So what exactly needs to be fixed at the agency at this point? Here now is veteran and radio talk show host Kathy Barnette. Thank you so much for coming in,
Thank
Kathy.
you for having me.
Some progress has been made at the VA over the last couple of years. We're moving in the right direction. Still more work to be done, right?
Yeah. You know what? There are many issues plaguing the Democratic Party, the VA department. Chief among them are these egregious wait times. Time and time again, when I talk to veterans, this is the #1 issue that they have in their mind. It became a scandal back in 2014 when we heard story after story of veterans going into the VA with relatively mild issues. But because of these extended wait times, those issues ballooned into life-threatening issues. And we did see some improvement under former VA Secretary Dr. David Shulkin, where he was able to reduce those wait times from 611,000 veterans who are waiting more than 125 days down to 86.
But why do you think it's a problem that just seems to be unable to really get resolved?
Bureaucracy, right? And one of the things, when I knew I was coming in here, I put it out there to all of my veterans on social media. And again, some of these people have to drive extended distances in order to reach a VA-sanctioned hospital. And so again, these wait times on whether waiting to see the proper doctor or just to even receive benefit decisions are pretty extensive.
That's really sad.
It is sad. And I mean, you talk about one of the big things that we hear are stories of people that have minor issues, and the wait times are so bad
they become
a serious issue, and it can end up killing somebody.
Yeah,
I mean, that is terrible.
And that is what we saw back in 2014 when the scandal broke out of that exact thing, story after story.
Well, let's talk about Robert Wilkie here for a second. And we have some facts here on what we know about him. He's a Navy veteran of the U.S. Navy Reserve Air Force, served as acting VA secretary after the ousting of Shulkin, has pledged to shake up complacency to improve long waits at VA. And those are just a couple of things. Do you like him as the pick?
You know, what I like is that in this highly divisive culture in Congress, where we have the Democratic Party who are bent on resisting this president no matter what, Robert Wilkie was able to garner bipartisan support. And that's really rare in this environment in which we live in, right? So he was able to garner that, and we're expecting him to use that kind of groundswell as he walks in and started facing some of these challenges. We have over 20 million veterans, and 22 commit suicide every single day. We have opioid addiction, homelessness epidemic among veterans. He's walking into a hornet's nest.
And let's get to what exactly needs to be improved here. Of course, we know about the wait times, reduce the poverty rate, as you just said, so many homeless veterans, and the ability, this is a big President Trump one as a business owner, the ability to drain the VA of employees with poor performance. Be able to fire people if you're doing a crummy job.
I mean, go figure, right?
I mean, isn't that so frustrating to see people just look at the job?
Don't we generally do that in a capitalist society, right? If you're not doing your job, then adios, right? But not in bureaucracy. And I spent over 10 years in the military as a reservist. And so I'm very familiar with the bureaucracy that can take place versus some of my other careers that I've had, right? If you're not performing. And we did see some improvement under Dr. Shulkin with that as well, with getting legislation passed in order to be able to fire people if they're not doing their job. So we're going to be looking at that. But then also one of the ones that you pointed out is, according to the VA, the poverty rate among veterans is rising. The number of veterans who are on food stamps is outpacing the number of those who have never been in the military. I see that as a very sad testimony. We have these young men and women who are going out onto the battlefield with more than just rucksacks on their back. They're also being weighed down with the needs of their families. And so again, when hopefully Robert Wilkie get this nod, and he will get in there, hit the ground running, and continue with the great improvement that we've already seen so far.